The night was cold, and the city's streets lay half asleep under dim streetlights. A woman walked quietly, clutching a small plastic bag that smelled faintly of food. Her hair was tied back loosely, her face pale with exhaustion, yet her steps carried a strange dignity despite the trembling in her hands. She wasn't begging, and she wasn't asking for help. She was simply carrying a bag of leftover food from a restaurant she had cleaned that evening. From across the street, a car slowed down. Inside it sat a wealthy businessman and his little boy. The boy's eyes widened as he pressed his small hands against the window. With a sudden jolt of recognition, he whispered, "Daddy, it's her." The man froze, his hands gripped the steering wheel tighter. Memories he had buried long ago came crashing back. His heartbeat raced as he looked at the frail woman on the sidewalk. But who was she, and why did the boy recognize her? That moment, a simple bag of leftovers in her hand, was about to change 3 lives forever. Her name was Mira. Once she had dreams like any other girl. She had studied hard, wanted to become a teacher, and dreamed of a small, simple home filled with laughter. But life had not been kind. Her father passed away early, leaving her mother ill and debts piled high. Mira dropped out of college, taking up odd jobs, cleaning homes, washing dishes in restaurants, sewing clothes at night, anything to keep food on the table. This night, after scrubbing restaurant floors for hours, the owner handed her a small bag of leftovers. For others, it was just cold food wrapped carelessly. For Mira, it meant she and her mother would not go to bed hungry. She walked with tired steps, her mind replaying every sacrifice. Neighbors whispered cruel things. Look at her, carrying trash food every night. How low she has fallen. But Mira never let their words break her spirit. Pride had no place when hunger stared at you in the eyes. On the other side of the city, businessman Raghav was returning home with his 7-year-old son, Arav. To the world, Raghav was a self-made millionaire, confident, respected, untouchable. But behind the sharp suits and the big house, he carried a past he rarely spoke about. As their car stopped at the signal, Arav spotted Mira walking. Her face looked familiar to him, not because he had met her, but because her photograph was in an old album at home. Arav leaned forward, pointing with innocent urgency. "Daddy, it's her, the lady from the picture in your study." Raghav's chest tightened. He knew exactly which picture his son meant, the one he kept hidden in a drawer. A picture of himself younger, standing beside a smiling girl, Mira, his childhood friend, his first love, the one he had promised to never leave behind. Yet life and ambition had made him break that promise. Back then, when opportunities came knocking, Raghav had chosen the path of success. He left their small town, moved to the city, and cut ties. Letters went unanswered. Calls never returned. He thought money would heal the guilt, but it didn't. Seeing her now, carrying leftover food in the dead of night, shattered him. But what could he do after all these years? Arav's curiosity wouldn't let go. "Daddy, who is she? Why do you look so sad when you see her?" Raghav swallowed hard. How could he explain to a child that the woman walking alone on the street was once the person who believed in him when nobody else did? That every success he had tasted carried a shadow of betrayal, the betrayal of leaving her behind. He pulled the car over. Arav's eyes brightened, sensing something important was about to happen. Raghav stepped out, his expensive shoes clicking against the pavement, a sharp contrast to Mira's worn-out sandals. She turned at the sound. For a second, her tired eyes met his and her steps faltered. Recognition spread slowly across her face. "Raghav," she whispered, almost disbelieving. Her voice was the same, gentle, steady, but tinged with years of struggle. Raghav felt a lump in his throat. The bag of leftovers in her hand seemed heavier than any fortune he had ever earned. "I'm sorry, Mira," he stammered. "I left when I shouldn't have. I forgot everything that mattered. And now, I don't even know if I have the right to stand here before you." Mira looked down, gripping the bag tightly. For a moment, silence stretched between them, filled only by the sounds of passing vehicles. Then, Arav stepped forward, his innocent voice cutting through the weight of the years. "Auntie, you know my daddy." Tears welled up in Mira's eyes. She nodded faintly. "Yes, I knew him. Long before he was your daddy. Long before the world called him rich." Raghav bent his head, ashamed. But Arav did something unexpected. He took the bag from Mira's trembling hands. "You don't have to carry this anymore. My daddy can help." The boy's words struck Raghav deeper than any accusation ever could. In that child's pure, unquestioning heart, he saw the answer to years of guilt. This wasn't about money. This was about responsibility, about redemption, about honoring the person who had once believed in him. That night, Raghav made a decision. He didn't just offer her money. He brought Meera and her mother home. He gave her dignity back, setting her up with the teaching job she had once dreamed of. Not charity, but a chance to live with her head held high. And as days turned into weeks, Meera became more than a reminder of the past. She became part of the family Arav already adored. At the end of it all, it wasn't the wealth or the mansion that made the difference. It was a simple bag of leftover food and a child's innocent voice saying, "Daddy, it's her." Life often tests us with choices between ambition and relationships, between pride and compassion. Sometimes in chasing success, we leave behind the very souls who once held our hand when we were nothing. But it's never too late to return, to mend, to restore dignity where it was lost. Because in the end, true wealth is not measured by what we have. It is measured by how we lift others when they fall.